Good afternoon, everybody. It's hope everybody's having a good Tuesday. I almost said Monday there. I'm losing track of my days today. I am Jay Vix with JVI Mobile Marketing and the How To Agency, and you are watching another episode of our interview project called Meet the Experts, where we interview local business owners or subject matter experts in their field, and we just learn all about them and how they got into business and what makes them awesome and why you should use them. So today I've got a cool guest. He's a good friend of mine. He's in a networking group that I belong to as well. He's in the mortgage business. He's with My Mortgage. His name is John Passmore, and we're going to learn all about John today as soon as I bring him up here on the screen. Hey, John, how are you?
Hi, Jay. How are you today?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you, and I hope your week is off to a good start.
It is. It's very, very busy, and we're talking to lots of people and trying to get them into their new homes.
Awesome. All right. Well, I know the mortgage business is kind of crazy. I know rates may be starting to creep back up a little bit, but I'm sure we'll get into that over the next few minutes. But so first, just for people who may not know about you and who you are, how long have you been in business here in the Triad?
Well, actually, yeah, I've been in the business quite a while. I started 20 years ago this coming May, and I started out, I had been in senior management, and I was running a company in Burlington. And anyway, to make a long story short, I transformed into the mortgage world, and I got involved with GMA in Greensboro to open up my horizons to meet more people. And the rest is kind of history. I've met a ton of people. Networking is great, and I thoroughly enjoy it.
Absolutely. And you mentioned GMA, and most people in the Triad may be familiar with Guilford Merchants Association, but they're just a great group who does a lot of really dynamic things and great, cool business networking events and opportunities there. And that's how you and I got to meet. So I've often thought that the mortgage business and being in the mortgage industry is a kind of an interesting career. I think movies and TV may portray it as kind of like a hustle and bustle kind of crazy type of industry. But how did you get into it, and what made you become a mortgage officer? Loan officer or mortgage professional, either way.
Well, a friend of mine had been after me for about a year, and he was involved in the business and loved it. And he said, "You would be perfect. You like people, etc." And I said, "Well, I'll give it a shot." And I did, and it's been really, really great. It started off with GMA, getting to know people, networking, and I'll tell you, it's very, very, very rewarding because of all the people I've met, the relationships I developed, as well as friendships.
Awesome. Yeah, I know that you've been in the Gurus group for a long time, and I know you've made some really really good friends in there, and it's a cool group. If anybody's watching this and they're like, what the heck are these guys talking about? The Guilford Merchants Association has a few different networking referral groups. They're similar to I guess a BNI type of style, but it's really designed to bring business owners or managers together to pass referrals to one another. And if anyone can get in touch with myself or John after this episode, and if you have questions, we're always looking for new members, right? So what would you say is your favorite part of your work?
Oh, really? As I mentioned just a few minutes ago, if I get a referral or if I just meet somebody through a networking group and we get into a conversation, there's always a need for money. And in my business, it's like putting a puzzle together. And we've been able to transform lives. I mean, literally, we are more educators than we are lenders. We offer programs, many, many programs that are not taught in school. And every step of the way is pretty much new, and it's new to the borrower from the standpoint of what they bring to the table. So it's been a lot of fun. It's very rewarding, and Literally just this morning before we got on air, we put together a loan purchase that we thought was not going to happen, and it turned out we're going to make it happen. And that's what our job is, and that's what we try to do every time.
Awesome, making it happen. That's right. That's good. And you mentioned something about not being taught in school. I mean, I think there's so much in your industry from a financial literacy perspective that, people definitely don't know. They always have questions. And speaking of questions, if you happen to be watching live or later on a replay down the road, go ahead and put a question in the comments. Just go ahead and comment and tell us you love the show. And if you have a question for John and you're watching this 2 weeks from now after it's live, or you catch it on one of our Facebook pages or YouTube channels, go ahead and I will make sure that any questions you have for John, I get it over to him, and that either he or I will get back to you with it. So like I said, any questions about mortgages or anything coming up in the mortgage world, interest rates, refinances, buying a home, you can go ahead and put those in the comments and we'll be sure to get those up. So you mentioned we a couple times, that I know as business owners, we often like to say we, but do you have others on your team? Who's on your team?
Yeah, we have two people that are behind me that are both of them, as well as myself, are licensed loan officers here in North Carolina, and they back me up internally. So I originate and structure the loan with the borrower, and then in turn, once I collect all the documents and the information needed on the front end for the file, I turn that back over to them. However, we establish what we're going to do with the borrower on the front end, and pretty much lay the groundwork for them so they know what to expect during the loan process.
Very cool. And while you were talking about that, I'm going to throw you a curveball. We actually have someone watching who has a question, and they're interested in learning about maybe some first-time home buyers programs and FHA loans. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. First, we do a lot of business with first-time home buyers, and it's a lot of fun because they're new, and we can really explain and teach them a lot, in a relatively short period of time. But we have programs that are zero down payment. We have down payment assistance programs that we can offer to them if, in fact, they happen to be a veteran or fireman, policeman, teacher, etc. Medical. We have a program where we offer $500 towards their closing costs, as just to honor them for their work and their help, in the community. So to answer your question, yes, we do, and we do FHA programs all the time. FHA is a lot more flexible in terms of a loan program, so consequently, it works very well for first-time home buyers.
Awesome. So that's great. Thank you for letting me put you on the spot. Whenever we have questions coming in about mortgages or in anything on these episodes, I always try to get those answered in real time because somebody's watching and they wanted to know. So this is kind of also a perfect segue into my next question, because we just talked about a couple of things that you help people with, but what are maybe some common types of issues that you can help with?
Well, when we go to pre-qualify somebody, we pull their credit report. So a lot of people may never have seen their credit report, or they may have seen it, but they really don't understand what's on it. So what we do is we pull the credit report, and we actually will go through the whole thing with them, and preferably in person. And we'll spend, an hour with them to go through it, explain to them why their credit score is what it is, why things are on there, and what they can do to make it better. And to be very, very simple with one statement, the fastest way to increase your credit score is to have active, paid on time credit cards. And the credit bureaus do not look for debt; they look for activity, they look for history. And when they're reported to all three credit bureaus, that'll take up your credit score very quickly. And another way, of course, is if you do have credit cards, and if you have a higher than a 50% ratio credit limit to balance, then you need to pay that down below that. The model is 25 or 30%, and zero is better. But that's what I do when we first go through the initial steps of pre-qualification. in essence, what we're doing is teaching them how the credit bureaus work, and it's always better to know what the rules are in the sandbox if you're going to play in the sandbox.
Awesome. No, that makes sense. With that, you mentioned about you gave some really good tips on how to manage your credit effectively. Does anyone in your industry or you or somebody help with like that type of counseling or helping people improve their credit? Do you have anything like that?
Yeah, we do that every day. The basis for everything that we do is the credit report. So once I get that information from the borrower, that gives me all kinds of information to talk to the borrower about, and I'll explain to them what's on there, why it's on there, and what you can do about it. And 9 times out of 10, derogatories, you're not going to be able to get them off. It's very, very difficult. So you have to work around that, and there are ways to do that. So sometimes we may not be able to qualify somebody right up front. However, give us 3 or 4 months, and we can. I mean, we have different loan programs that fit different clients, and we can put them into a home initially, let's say with an FHA loan, and a year later, I had one client who had 20% to put down. He put 20% down. He followed what we suggested to him, got a score up to where it needed to be, put him into a conventional loan, and we got rid of PMI, which is personal mortgage insurance. In personal mortgage insurance, you don't want to pay unless you have to, because essentially it's paying for an insurance policy for the lender.
You know, it's funny you say that, because I was paying it, and I hated it, because I was like, this benefits me, in no way, and I'm forced to do it. Luckily, it's gone now, thanks to home values. But yeah, so I do have some information scrolling at the bottom of the screen. If people, if you're watching this and you'd like to, you have some more questions about mortgages, first-time home buyers programs, FHA loans, refinances, your credit, John is a great person to call, and his phone number there at the bottom, 336-601-6111. But John, if somebody are there any other ways that people might be able to reach out to you besides just giving you a call?
Sure. My email address is the initial J, Passmore, PASSMORE .GSO@gmail.com. And I might mention too, we talked about purchases, Jay, but just to mention that refinances today are very, very big. What's happened in the marketplace is that values of homes have gone up dramatically. And just to give you an idea, I got a referral from a financial planner for a lady who had just retired, and she had some credit card debt and she wanted to get rid of it. Well, to make a long story short, we can refinance her first mortgage and pay off all of her credit card debt. A lot of times we can get rid of PMI. A lot of times we can get rid of a home equity line of credit. But in her case, we will save her $2,200 a month. That is a very, very large income increase for her. And she was very, very happy and pleased that we were able to do that for her.
You're not kidding. That's a huge amount of savings. So I bet that you are her absolute hero right now.
Well, she was pretty happy, needless to say. But you know what? Another thing too, what happens after you do something like that is as soon as those transactions, the debt is paid off at the time of closing, as soon as that carries over to the credit bureaus, her score will go like this. And she'll be in a whole nother bracket that'll save her a ton of money. We go down all the way to 580, but the magic number in the mortgage world is 740 credit score, and the higher the better, because you're a less risk to the lenders. So consequently, whether it's mortgages, cars, credit cards, homeowners insurance, you want to have a high credit score, and I can help you get there.
That's cool. That's some good information right there. So thanks for adding that on. This has been a really good episode. I feel like I learned a lot. I hope anybody watching has learned a lot. I know that we've had some activity during this episode, and we don't always get a lot. So that's good. But John, listen, I appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate getting to see you every Monday, even if we're stuck to meeting Zoom right now. But one last thing that I did just see pop up is Lynette. Lynette says, great information. Thanks for sharing. So thanks, Lynette, for that. I grew up with her, actually, so that's pretty nice to hear from her, and glad to know she tuned in. So thanks, Lynette. John, I really appreciate you coming on, and I'll see you soon.
All right, Jay. Well, thank you very much, everybody. If I can help you out, please let me know. Thanks.
All right. Take care, John. Don't go anywhere either. I'll be right backstage with you. All right, everybody. Well, John is a wealth of information. If with home prices being the way they are, as crazy as they are, it may be a really good time for you to look into refinancing or doing some other strategy to get some more money out of your house or into your pocket. Can you imagine getting $2,200 a month extra from a little change to your mortgage? That's amazing. Anyway. Like I mentioned earlier, my name is Jay Vix. I own a digital marketing agency called JVI Mobile Marketing. And if you would like to be a future guest on Meet the Experts, you can actually go to that link down there. You could see right here, guests.advertisinggreensboro.com. That's guests.advertisinggreensboro.com. Remember, guests with an S. And it costs you nothing. So basically what you're getting is a free 15-minute commercial all about you and your business that you can then turn around and put on your website or in your marketing materials. And I'd love to have that discussion with you about that, or maybe some other ways that we can help you grow and market your business and bring some visibility to your company. So until next time, and by the way, our next episode is actually coming up this Friday. We're doing 2 in 1 week, and it's going to be with somebody who John works with all the time, which is a realtor. So come on Friday and get to hear from Wendy Loftus. She's with Keller Williams Realty. So until then, Jay Vix signing out. Meet the Experts. Have a great day.